So my name is Mayank, as Mayank introduced me. And I just recently started doing comedy, and I hope you all are doing really good. I'm just kidding, okay? Like, if you all were good, you wouldn't be here. Simple as that. Okay. But a lot has been happening recently, you all know about the situation in Rajasthan right now, right? Yeah, the Congress government there is in a jeopardy because Sachin Pilot and his supporting MLAs have revolted against the chief minister. I think Sachin Pilot is a very smart politician because he flew all his MLAs to Delhi because there you don't require resorts to hide. The air conditions are enough, right? And I think instead of blaming BJP, Congress should actually thank the Prime Minister. It is because of the lockdown that Rajasthan government managed to stay in power for 3 more months. But eventually, Sachin Pilot was sacked as the deputy CM, and I feel Congress leadership has let down its Rajasthan state unit. Although it is not the first time we are witnessing Sachin being upset by Rahul's decision. You have to go back to Multan to understand the truth. But it's safe to say that Sanjay Leela Bansali's films last longer than Congress governments. But, I'll tell you about myself. Okay, I stay in UP. And UP is like very famous for Vikas. I meant development. Okay. I don't know what you guys are thinking. Last week, I think he was encountered by the UP police, right? He was caught in a chain and then he was brought to, and then he was encountered. It's almost as if Salman Khan only heads the UP police. Like but a lot of people, came on social media. They criticized the police and the government, and they're saying, how could you encounter him? This is against the law. And I was like, bro, in UP, we have low literacy rates. Okay, we are deteriorating law and order. We have failing healthcare system, caste-based politics. Basically, these are just some of the problems that UP encounters every day. Because Dubey is not alone. Nice. But coincidentally, UP government that day announced lockdown in that state, and basically they were trying to tell people that they were trying to tell people to stay at home because encounters can be dangerous. That didn't make sense. Yeah, okay, but the whole COVID situation has gone like so bad in UP, and I'm wondering when will the government bring out the anti-Romeo squads, because they are the champions when it comes to social distancing. Nobody better than them can do that. But is there anyone from Mumbai here by any chance? Anyone from Mumbai? No, obviously. I mean, they have to pay their electricity bills. But like, for those of you who don't know, 2 weeks back, electricity bills in Mumbai they increased threefold, right? So Mumbai is now the second city after Delhi where bills get stuck, thanks to our parliament. I think we can all like collectively agree here that last couple of months they have been really tough on us, right? I mean, this whole coronavirus happened and lockdown. A lot happened during these 3 months. Especially during the initial weeks, lockdown was very tough because people started hoarding food. Companies were laying off employees. Politicians, okay, like they openly started preaching about maintaining distance from people outside your religion. Literally brought out the worst in everyone. And Salman Khan is no exception, because to make the lockdown tougher, Salman Khan released a couple of songs. And it's okay, because it's okay, it's perfectly fine. But I noticed one striking similarity among all his songs that that make them a Salman Khan song. It was that all of the Salman Khan songs got released without a hearing.
Oh.
You guys take your time, okay, to understand the jokes. But for a guy like Salman Khan, he anyways doesn't give a fuck about corona. I mean, just look at it like this: if Salman Khan tests positive for coronavirus, it would be his driver who would stay in quarantine. He doesn't have to worry. He's chill. Also, this is the longest that Salman Khan has been under lockdown. Anyone has noticed?
Oh,
But but everyone obviously thinks that China is responsible for this pandemic, except China. So, even after that, they're like not at all serious to find the cure for this virus, right? They're more interested in grabbing land from us. And then I thought, it's too bad that China doesn't share a border with UP, because land disputes in UP, they they don't require government interference. Okay. But then the Indian government it finally took action, and 59 Chinese apps were banned. And it was good to see that the government is putting its best skill to use, which is banning. So, like, there's a lot of confusion, right? And the situation along the LAC is like very complex. It's no doubt it's a dark time there. Yeah, it's a Netflix joke. I think Indians they're not at all serious about boycotting Chinese goods, because if they were serious about Chinese items, then they would have started coronavirus, right? It's high time. I think the government should start taking advice from Rahul Dravid on border issues, because he's an expert when it comes to defense matters. But this whole Indo-China border standoff, it reminds me of one particular film, Dunkirk. You guys have heard about that film? You know that war film, right?
yeah.
Which barely had any dialogue. There were no dialogues, right? But I think if coronavirus was a movie, then it would have been both a global and a critical hit. But even after that, but even after that in India, it would have opened to limited screenings.
Easy word place.
Apart from that, a lot of protests also happened in the US, and I think black people in the US they have had more riots than rights. I think it's a failure of leadership here, which is why I think Mark Zuckerberg should be made the next US president, because he's colorblind. But speaking of Zuckerberg, last month he bought a 9.9% stake in Geo. You guys know that, right? And I thought it would be the first time that Mark Zuckerberg will make money from someone who doesn't use Facebook. Like in India, we have this red, orange, and green zones. If US had a similar strategy, they would probably name their zones as black, white, and orange. Orange, of course, being the worst hit. Okay. Yeah. But Elon Musk also had a new baby. Yeah, you must have heard about that. And he named his boy. That's the problem, right? Like nobody knows the name. Nobody knows how to pronounce the name, right? Like you must, if not heard, at least you have seen his name, right? You've seen his name, right? XA. I don't know what that is, but I think there's a logic behind his name, because Elon Musk wanted to make sure that people enter space while typing his son's name. So, okay. But just imagine for a moment. Imagine you are the son of Elon Musk. Okay, like your father is a billionaire. He's the founder of SpaceX. He's the founder of Tesla, and yet no one has ever heard your name. That's how bad his name is. Right? No one has ever heard him. Like nobody knows what to call him, right? But let's come back to our neighbors. Okay, like let's talk about Pakistan. Yeah. So what happened was, I think around 10 days back, there was this Pakistani stock exchange building, okay, which was attacked by terrorists. And I thought, terrorism is so rampant in Pakistan that even their economy bombed. Like their economic conditions are so bad that even coronavirus is feeling jobless there. That bad. Also, okay, let's come back to India. Okay, I think you will agree when I say the whole lockdown hit poor people the hardest, right? I mean, governments across the country, they weren't really prepared, and like they were not taking it seriously at all, right? And it shows that, when Indian governments try to be funny, it's called a poor joke. And, a lot of actors, though, they stood up to help the migrants, and one can't disagree that actors have done more for the migrants than any government. And that's unfortunately the sad reality today, that governments are acting to help people and actors are ruling the public.
Too
Sad.
good, too good.
But okay, despite all the gloomy news, one good thing happened. Vijay Mallya is expected to return to India soon. Like this news
Yeah.
came a couple of weeks back, and I was, very happy that our government has finally helped a migrant reach home. Enough, enough jokes. Okay, like I'll tell you, there are like several universities who are actually testing and developing vaccines, and Oxford is one of them, right? Like Oxford has developed a vaccine, and that vaccine is currently undergoing human trials. And I think that is the reason, why India will never be able to create a vaccine, because see, human trials here take years to complete. That's a fact. Okay.
Oh,
Patanjali claimed to have found the cure to coronavirus. But like what they were basically telling was that their medicine is so deadly that when you take them, you won't require coronavirus to die. That's what they were trying to say. Not everyone, requires vaccine. I think if there is one person in India who is immune to coronavirus, it is Anil Kapoor. Okay, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Okay, like see, Anil Kapoor is the only person because New Year doesn't apply to him. Right? Like
Exactly.
he stays young. Okay, so I don't know like how many of you guys like keep up with news, but Reliance today they launched Geo Glass. Yeah, how many of you heard? Okay, today Reliance launched Geo Glass. Okay, and I was like, Mukesh Ambani is a bigger threat than coronavirus for Indian businesses. This guy is like spreading everywhere, right? But Reliance Geo, they also released Geo Meet, which is the carbon copy of Zoom. Yeah, you must have heard that. But interestingly, Geo Meet has this special feature called a safe driving mode. And I was like, no, Salman Khan can finally host Big Boss on Geo Meet. The other day, the other day I was doing this joke in some open mic, and suddenly someone from the audience they just pointed out to me that bro, even Zoom has this feature. I was like, yeah, I know, but on Zoom, Salman Khan will have to face charges. Like GeoMeet, it's free, right? Talking about businesses, I'll just wrap up with one or two more jokes. Apple has been a company which, despite the lockdown, they kept releasing and launching new products. I think they misunderstood when people said they wanted jobs. We were not looking for Apple products, but every time a new iPhone is launched, every time they launch a new iPhone, Apple always tries its best to convince people, how this iPhone is different from the previous ones. But since it's Apple, so I could not buy their argument either. Thanks, guys. That's been my time. Okay, so back to your host, Mayank only, Mayank ji.
great job, man.
अरे